Alright guys, my name is Chico Miller. Welcome back to the Jacob Show. Today, hold up, I need to fix this up real quick. Yeah. Alright, it's fixed. That was my script. It was just falling over on us. Guys, what's up? My name is Jacob Miller. Welcome back to the Jacob Show. Today, it's going to be a very, very special day because, I just finished, well, I didn't actually just finish the poll. I finished the poll a couple of days ago, and the results are actually very, very shocking for those of you who are interested in, of course, what in the world the Instagram poll results were. If you have no idea what I am talking about, watch the video within the eye icon on the upright part of your screen. There you will see the Nintendo Switch Lite video, in which I talked about it and some features as well as some very, very, very unique things that this console could actually bring us. And I also talked about having a poll on my Instagram story, asking people, hey, like what purpose do you use the Switch for? Or like what do you use it for? Like how do you use it? You know, like what do you use as its main function, or something like that. So yeah, I actually have the results. I've also been studying some new evidence for this. I have gathered a total of 8 convincing supporting evidence that could possibly support this theory altogether. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on with the Nintendo virtual reality system theory. So, let's go start with some supporting evidence. First of all, the results of the Instagram poll, to where I asked my followers who had a Nintendo Switch, and asked them, hey, like how do you use it and how do you view the Nintendo Switch? And of course, 63% of them voted portable. They voted on portable stuff. So what does this mean? Well, this means that, of course, most I would say, well, like with these results, I can somewhat safely say that most Nintendo Switch users use the Nintendo Switch as a portable system. Not only that, but we also have some more evidence. For example, the Nintendo Labo. What I find so interesting about the Nintendo Labo is the name, Nintendo Labo. What does that even mean? Like what does Nintendo Labo mean? So then I started researching the definition of lab, since pretty much Labo is pretty much lab, but with an O at the end. And of course, I found that, of course, lab is pretty much where you study and or test a hypothesis. And of course, what was the most recent Nintendo release for the Nintendo Labo? The virtual reality kit. Could they be testing the idea of, well, virtual reality by of course releasing it as a Nintendo Labo kit? Not only that, but yeah, of course, the virtual reality game updates for some unique selected Nintendo titles is actually very, very, very jaw-dropping and very, very interesting for you to see. So far for the virtual reality game system update, as far as I can, as of course I know and that I could tell, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and of course Smash Bros. Ultimate all Three of those games had a virtual reality system update to where, of course, you can actually use the Nintendo Labo virtual reality kit within those games. And so, what does this mean? Well, this could possibly mean that, again, like I stated, Nintendo is, of course, testing out the whole virtual reality. The idea of them even going into virtual reality and pretty much testing it with these new game updates for of course selected Nintendo game console exclusives. What else could there be for evidence? Well, let's go look back at, of course, past releases and some past past virtual reality games, but past Nintendo games. Most specifically, the NES and the SNES. A while back, I want to say last year or possibly 2 years ago. I can't remember when, but Nintendo released the NES Mini with, of course, the SNES Mini as a follow up. They're basically just like miniature versions of their original original counterparts, and pretty much what they did was that they basically crammed in all these games into it. Most specifically, the scrapped game known as Star Fox 2 for the SNES Mini. That is. So what does this mean? Well, this means that, of course, Nintendo isn't of course isn't very much shy or pretty much is basically open to releasing older version like old consoles, and of course re-releasing them as a quote-unquote new console. Well, not necessarily new as in brand new. No, it's just like they just re-released them, and yeah. And this also means that, of course, that the old consoles can still have new games if they're scrapped. And also, we've recently seen with the Nintendo Switch Online that pretty much another big old like one up when you get the Nintendo Switch Online deal is basically planning old NES games. This means that, of course, Nintendo isn't very, very shy to actually re-releasing, if not remaking, old Nintendo games. So, for example, we've seen on the 3DS Legends of the Ocarina of Time and, of course, Majora's Mask were both remade into like a new release for the 3DS. We've also seen Punch-Out for the Wii being actually remade and somewhat re-released with what I want to say some, if not all, of the Punch-Out opponents, as well as some new mechanics to go with it. And of course, this basically leads into the point that if this theory is correct, that if Nintendo does release a virtual reality system later on down the line, it basically what these releases basically saying is that, hey, of course, we will release old and new titles into the Nintendo virtual reality system. Not only that, but yet we will possibly remake old titles. Another big evidence for this is that Nintendo somewhat not knowing it, somehow created the blueprints for VR. For example, basically the blueprints were the Virtual Boy and the Wii remote and nunchuck. What this, of course, basically means is that Nintendo pretty much gave birth to virtual reality. But of course, supporting the concept for the VR goggles and pretty much giving us the motion controls that, of course, that pretty much every virtual reality system now has. And of course, before you say, oh, Jacob, Nintendo would never release a virtual reality system. Hold up, because there's actually more evidence for that. Of course, this also means that if this theory is true, if this theory is true, then of course Nintendo can actually reach out for pretty much a new audience, specifically the virtual reality gamers out there. I know that all of you exist, and I know I see you, and I'm actually theorizing for a Nintendo virtual reality system. So hold on to your bags of money, because of course Nintendo could actually release this virtual reality system and not only reach a new audience, but also gain a profit out of this. I mean, virtual reality systems are actually very, 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 very popular and also profitable. Most noticeably, the Oculus Rift, and oh crap, what was those Samsung goggles? Yes, like those. Pretty much those virtual reality like systems are very, very popular and very, very well made. Not only that, but they're also very, very profitable if Nintendo does decide to release a virtual reality system. And of course, like I've said, my final point on the script actually is that Nintendo isn't very shy of course remaking, if not re-releasing older their titles. I pretty much made an argument for that. The only thing that I could see defeating this theory is Super Smash Brothers itself, as in the entire the entire like the fan base, and not only that, but yet the entire series of Super Smash Brothers. I mean, Super Smash Brothers has been on of course every single console. If you don't include the DS and the Game Boy. I mean, like Super Smash Brothers has been on the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, and the 3DS, by the way, as well as now these days the Nintendo Switch. So of course, if this theory is true, and if Nintendo releases a virtual reality system, then there wouldn't be any Super Smash Brothers, because if you think about it, Super Smash Brothers is a very, very hard game to run on virtual reality if you're actually playing as one of the characters and not just spectating. For example, let's put you into a basic fight. I would say hazards on all items, and of course 4 opponents on that particular stage. Pretty much all of those movements and all of those stage hazards. Not only that, but yet assist trophies, the final smashes, as well as all the usage of the items will just destroy the game entirely, meaning that the Nintendo Virtual Reality System couldn't even run a Super Smash Bros. Game. But if you're like expecting that, then of course that is fine. But if you're actually playing a virtual reality system version of Super Smash Brothers, then you're stuck, and that pretty much sucks because of course I can actually promise you that basically a lot of virtual reality system fans are pretty much going to want to play Super Smash Brothers on the virtual reality system. So of course Nintendo has two options if they do decide to release or even announce a virtual reality system console. Number one, they could just pretty much try to release new games that will actually compete with Super Smash Brothers. Or number two, they could just not do the virtual reality system. And I feel like number two is definitely the most likely for the possibilities of a virtual reality system version of Super Smash Brothers. I mean, me personally, I actually want this to be true. I actually believe this to be true. So for Theory Talk, I'm going to introduce a rating system for the theories. And yes, this is a Theory Talk episode. Sorry for not, of course, addressing it as a Theory Talk episode. So first of all, we will actually rate this on basically two different rating systems. A want score and a probability score. On the probability score, I give I myself give the Nintendo Virtual Reality System Theory a probability score of 50%. I feel like Nintendo could actually release this console, and I feel like this would be the most successful console ever. But since you can't necessarily run Super Smash Brothers on a virtual reality system, then that's gonna be very, very, in the words of, I want to say, Run DMC, tricky. On a want score, I give this theory 100%. I want this to be true. I want this to be 100% true. I want this to come out because Nintendo, I will buy this system. I will buy it. All that you gotta do is just make it and release it. Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it from me today. Let me know what you all think within the comment section below. Answer the poll on the upper right portion of your screen. Basically, the poll is asking, would you buy the Super, no, not Super Nintendo, the Nintendo Virtual Reality System? Would you pass up on it? Also, there's another poll asking about, do you think this theory is true? And do you want this to be true? Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it from me today. You can watch the original Nintendo Virtual Reality System Theory video on in the description down below, or on the end card, or even in the eye icon on the upper right portion of your screen. Anyways, my name's Jacob Miller. I'll see you guys next time on The Jacob Show. Bye-bye.